A recent CDC study shows 129 million Americans have at least one chronic disease, with five of the top 10 causes of death being preventable and treatable. Leading tech and wellness experts are challenging this issue. Director of the NYU Coaching Innovation Lab, Dr. Woodward, joins us to discuss a bit more. Again, so can you share more about the latest news in this area and how and who made these announcements? I mean, we want to know what's going on. You say it's fresh too. It's like this is like new information that's out there.
Yeah, Jessica, this is very fresh and it's very exciting news. And I just want to point out that same study that you quoted, they also said that about 90% of the annual $4 trillion healthcare expenditure, right, is attributed to managing treating chronic diseases as well as mental health conditions. So think about that amount of money out there, and we're still struggling to solve it. So we know this is a real problem. And guess what? It's no surprise that some of the major tech players have gotten into the game, particularly when it comes to using AI. So, in a recent op ed in Time from Ariana Huffington, who is the founder and CEO of Thrive Global and most famous for the HuffPost news outlet, she joined forces with Sam Altman, the founder of OpenAI, which is the technology company behind famously ChatGPT, and they announced that they're launching a joint venture called Thrive AI Health. And in their words, they're developing a hyper personalized health AI coach to focus on what they refer to as five foundational areas. So, Jessica, the reason this is exciting is because the challenge that you cited at the outset there is that there's so many people suffering from chronic disease, and we're still struggling to really address it medically. And so, where's the natural next place to look? It's mental health, right? And mental well being, what you can do for yourself personally, but how that can be enabled by artificial intelligence and the rapid advances we're seeing right now in that space. So, this is super, super exciting stuff.
Dr. Woody, are there any concerns or what concerns do you have about these technologies in such a personal part of our health and wellness?
Yeah, Jessica, you bring up a really good question here, and it's a real challenge to consider, right? Because every day we're seeing more and more use cases of AI, and they tend to be more and more invasive in some ways, right? They're mining information, they're asking us to input information, they're tracking stuff, they're mimicking us, which can be a little frightening. They're imitating us, they're able to do deep fakes. So there's a lot of stuff going on, right, with these technologies. So safety is an issue, and they all do talk about addressing safety, no doubt about it. But it's a continued concern I think we all need to pay attention to when you look at the credibility of these. And I'll come back to that in a second, the thinking about some of the credibility. But I want to add a couple more interesting news announcements that again came out just this week. So it's not just OpenAI partnering with Ariana Huffington, right, on this Thrive AI Health initiative, but you also had Headspace um, on LinkedIn teasing the release of which is their new technology for enabling people to capture their thoughts, find gratitude, and explore different perspectives using this AI tool. Now, there's not a lot known about it. It was just kind of a tease, but we know it's coming soon. Um, and of course, not to be outdone in the personal healthcare space, if you're familiar with Aura, the Aura Ring, um, they just released that they're going to be creating Aura Advisor, which is an AI based tool that's really, as they say, it's a chat based conversational assistant um, designed to harness AI to empower members to achieve their health goals and personalize insights, recommendations, and encouragement, which is always important to stick with health goals based on the diagnostics they're getting from their Aura ring. So, all three of these, Jessica, just this week hit the news cycle. So it's moving fast. It's definitely moving fast.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there. Okay, so as consumers, because I know the consumers want to know, what can we expect as these technologies continue to develop? What do we get?
You know, it's a good question. It's hard to know right now, right? So these are just teases. They're press releases. They're media pieces right now, just letting us know what's coming. So we don't know a lot of the details around what these tools and technologies will look like. But certainly based on what we've seen from OpenAI and ChatGPT 4, we imagine it'll be a generative conversational tool that you could talk to, query, and ask questions to, and it'll talk back to you. With the Aura Ring, I assume it'll be the same. The interesting challenge with the Aura Ring, like a lot of these diagnostic tools that provide feedback through generative AI, is the fact that that is collecting a lot of personal data, like your blood pressure, your heart rate, oxygen in your blood, all these different things that these tools can collect. So that's personal information that they have access to, that maybe on some form of a walled off cloud somewhere, that the AI is looking at, reading, trying to interpret, and then use that to give you recommendations based on the data that it's reading. Now, we know from recent history that sometimes these AI technologies can get it wrong.
Mhm.
And so, whether it's giving us a false recommendation on what to do about, like, say, a faulty blood pressure reading, or misunderstanding of a pattern in your regular daily eating or sleep, or whatever that it may be tracking, that's something we have to be careful of and worry about. On the flip side, any of the mental health oriented tools and technologies where you are divulging certain things about yourself, concerns, worries, things that you might not otherwise share, the AI is reading that, using that, and spitting back to you some advice or guidance. And we just have to make sure that it doesn't point you in the wrong direction and cause any harm. Because all of us in helping professions know that, first and foremost, any ethical code will tell you do no harm. And I think we do have to pay attention to these technologies to make sure that they have the right safety mechanisms in place and the right human oversight to make sure that they don't do harm.
Well, Dr. Woody, it's safe to say that AI is here to stay, right?
Oh, Jessica, it is definitely here to stay. That is for sure, and it's continually evolving and getting better and better every single day. So we know it's going to be part of our lives, no question about it. And I know you have kids, I have kids. We've talked about this. It's going to impact our kids, how they live. I can't imagine what it's going to be like for my 7-year-old, the tools and technologies he'll have available to him. But
It's
there's
exciting.
always a good and bad.
Yeah, it's exciting though. I mean, it's a good thing. I also have a 7-year-old. You mentioned we both have kids, so
Yeah.
they kind of get a little bit easier than we did. But thank you so much, Dr. Woody.
Sure, anytime.